Alright. Well, that was quick. Uh, I didn't really expect that to happen, but anyways, that's only good. It's only good for player. I just want to also say that, as per usual, just, um, you guys are all feel free to come in and talk in the Discord server, you know. The link is still in. Oh! I appreciate that there's a lot of people today. Today we're just, it's just art. I haven't really drawn anything for a long while simply because due to the fact that, I've been studying, for, most of the time right now. And yeah, today, like, I think yesterday or something, something interesting happened. So there's this girl who's living in the same door as I am. I'm playing Yandere Simulator. Any ideas? I don't know. Kill the guy. I don't play that. I'm sorry. I thought about playing me side, but then again, I'm still waiting for another gacha game. Um, and um, it's 普通话 Mandarin from it's basically Mandarin. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is Mandarin. Um, it is Mandarin. I can speak Mandarin if you want. Um, it is possible. Let's just say that it's always on the table. Um, who's that? I need to try self promo and spam the link as much as possible in order for people to come. If you don't mind, if I do. Um. So basically, I just found this woman. He actually had a boyfriend. She's taken, so I can't really do anything about it. However, like I remember like, she literally came to the dorm with like flowers and shit. Um, what happens is that like I was like, oh, did your boyfriend give you that? And she was like, no, actually, I'm meeting my boyfriend's parents, and I was like, can you at least like give some flowers to your boyfriend? Cause if you don't know, I feel like a lot of the guys out there just never received any flowers at all throughout their life, and I find it kind of sad, you know. So I want to try my best to change that, you know. I basically just tell her, hey, just give some to your boyfriend. But you know that's the best I could do. Unfortunately, for the art today, I didn't really I realized that I've been drawing the same few characters for quite a while, and even the same characters I always draw in things that is like outside of what they usually wear. Unfortunately, what else I need to talk about? All right, I'll post it onto this guy. That's good. So what I was trying to say is, there's also another news that someone called I Show Speed has came to my hometown and doesn't really have great experience because the tour guide kind of sucks. But also, since Fujiwara is reading kanji, I wonder how to translate to Chinese since kanji is basically Chinese characters. You just read it out loud, though. Um, it is basically read it like if you know Chinese, you basically read it like what you do. So basically, for me, reading Japanese names, I actually know how to speak Mandarin. So yeah, Fujiwara for us is just something like Tang Yuan. We just read it like Chinese, like you do. Today I do have some two ideas to draw. Well, I mean like more like three. One is the characters I haven't drawn in a while. Another one is sort of copied someone else's, like so inspired by someone else. Another one is part of a series that I've been trying to go for, but I'm not so sure if it like works or not. Wait, let me just turn to the gaming part, I guess. Yeah, I don't know why I put a gaming with the same as the usual drawing part. I just need to grab the drawing board. So recently there's also this news of actual speed coming to my hometown, which is quite interesting. And he said he doesn't really have a very good time, and I can see why. but I'm afraid not. It's just that our people is a bit crazy. I'm sorry to say this. Um, I might as well show some clips to demonstrate what happened. And people have been like debating on like how bad it is, and people have been like reflect on themselves after that event, about how we somehow gotten worse as a place, and saying that the government didn't bother to crowd control at all because like the government doesn't really understand what streaming is. And oh yeah, I was gonna show you some speed clips. If you don't mind. He went here in the Philippines too. Yeah. It's fine. That's cool. I don't know what his reaction to Southeast Asia is. I'ma just share it. This is okay. I show speed. Cool. I'm gonna share it right here. It's a weird situation. So basically, like the first part is fine with him going to a place. It's called 打小人. Essentially, what you're trying to it's sort of our version of voodoo. You try to think of someone you hate into that person, right? And then an old lady, usually an old lady, hits it and curses on it. That's her job, and it's pretty much tradition. There's a lot of ways to do that. It didn't really showcase the proper way of doing it. Like usually when they actually hit the paper figure, they always have like rhymes with a lot of stuff. You know, they always sort of having some rhymes or whatever. Essentially something like that. After that, it's pretty much gone all downhill. Well, now the Ocean Park. I mean, Ocean Park is fine, but it feels a bit too generic, you know. Pandas. I mean, we do have Ocean Park is fine, but it's just a one of those aquarium plus zoo plus roller coaster theme park type shit. So it isn't much special. Again, it's still an Ocean Park. Soccer, football. Why do I say soccer? What the fuck is wrong with me? I just read it out loud. Yeah, probably. Okay, he did went to the mountains. That's cool. I think a lot of people do need to do that. Unfortunately, he on the top he met some crazy people. Unfortunately, those are one of our more infamous content creators. Yeah. If you guys people don't really know, the thing is that they are known as the white card coalition. White? What do you mean by white card? Essentially, when a person is mentally disabled, the government will issue a white card to make sure to tell people that you are mentally disabled. It's basically a euphemism for, yeah. And those people probably have it. Okay, he did went to fortune telling, like to the temples, whatever. That's fine. Ronaldo fans. The trams, cool. I mean, I don't mind that. And then this. We have a good metro system, to be fair. Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit! I guys, I literally I accidentally cut the Wi-Fi. Shit. Yeah. About this one. Yeah, we do be like that. That's just huge speed. I'm sorry. He hit 38 million. Eating food. I mean, not the food I would recommend, but it's alright. Snake soup. Yeah, we do eat snakes, unfortunately. Bruce Lee and a boat. It's chaos. All I can say is it's fucking chaos. So uh, it's unfortunate that speed has to be that, but that's sort of what happens when you're famous or whatever. Um, I mean, it is a problem, but we can't really blame it too much. Blame people too much. Um, but also, people always like think that he was got paid by the Chinese government to, and maybe like they deliberately put us in a bad light. It's possible. Who knows? I don't think it's possible. There's too many variables. Yeah. But you know what? When I was speaking this, like last night, I saw this photo that sort of like makes you want to do something similar. Holy crap! Okay, never mind. I just saw tits. um um. I need to find a photo. Shit. Sorry about that. I need to find a reference photo. Oh yeah, funny news is that my sister is on a trip by herself, and we're kind of concerned with her class though. So that's one thing that you can sort of honestly, yeah. I was like, you know what, let's just draw this. I saw it last night, and obviously there's a second panel, but I don't think I can show you guys that. But yeah, file new. The height. Wait, what did I did for my birthday? Art folder. So I literally. Yep. Yeah. Cool. It's a stupid meme. But I kind of want to try out myself. So I guess I actually totally cut the Wi-Fi. Hmm. Wait, what? Speed is back? Seriously? What the fuck? Wait, I gotta see this. Speed is back? I don't think he's back. I don't think he's back. I doubt that. What? Also, where the hell is my thumbnail? My thumbnail literally just fucking disappeared. Never mind, my thumbnail's back. It's just my browser sucks. You know what? I need background music. Yeah, fuck it. Okay, what in the whole life? Yeah, I'll just go with the fucking whole life. Say this like you do. You guys can always come in. Hello, how you guys doing? Another guy just came in. Hello. What made you drawing today after talk about shenanigans happen to the so-called Fallen City, you know? I mean, I could talk about my home a bit more, if you guys want. Because there's another part of the story that I do kind of want to talk about. Other than the fact that we screwed up tourismly, even though it's been our thing for like God knows how long. Alright. Let me check my reference. It's it's just the usual practice. Can the some setting must have turned? Yep. Yeah, that's why I felt a bit weird when I draw it. There's a setting where you can actually turn my drawing pad as a touchpad. Which, why do they even do that? I don't know what Wacom was thinking when they put a button for that. The good news is that it's toggleable. Welcome. You're always welcome. Well, after actual speed has caused some chaos. Oh, by the way, you guys have... If you think he's crazy, you have never heard of I Show Meat before. I Show Meat. more like side profile, so like most of the shit doesn't really matter. Yeah, the eyes need a bit bigger. Hmm? Hmm. As usual, if you guys really feel like it, please join my Discord server. Yeah, when I was drawing like the chin part, it's always a bit off. Ah crap, my eraser a bit huge. What are we gonna do with the mouth? First the upper lip. Upper lip is easy, the problem is like we start to deal with the lower one. Yep, you know what, let that do. Give me a second. I think it's fine. most part. I don't know why side profiles are a bit easier for me. I sometimes legit literally just look at my own model and see if I like got some of the details right. Like again, like when from the iShow Speed stream, it kind of proves that pretty much anywhere you go, it can be a kind of mixed bag, you know. A lot of people say Paris is shit, but also a lot of people say it's great. They had a great time, you know. Can't deny that. And he has official like iShow Speed literally just became Mr. Worldwide. So that'll do. That looks fine. Like it's very easy. It's literally easier to do side profile. I kid you not. It's always easier. Ta-da! It's always just easier. Well, someone just came and left. I mean, usual. There's nothing really special, really. You know what? How about let's just change the content? I really wanna like talk about maybe the Fallen City part stuff. Okay.
In this
But like no one's really here. You know, I'll just continue the art. Oh well. I do kind of want to talk about it, but no one's here, so. I don't like this mouth, honestly. It doesn't suit him, but I know some other characters will work fine. Maybe that's the chin. It's always the mouth part. I swear to God. To be fair, there's a simple way of doing this. I mean, but it feels wrong whenever I do it. I'll use the weird method, I guess. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Alright. I think that's like after drawing for so long, I start to see shit, like the more detailed shit, you know. Maybe the head is a bit too big. Who knows? maybe the body is small. Who knows? He's just skinny, bro. Okay, yep, maybe not enough Nick. It's always those tiny things when you're doing art, you know. Now it looks better now. Hello, how you guys doing? Somebody just came. How you guys doing? Well, I'm just drawing stuff. Yeah. Anything you guys want to say? You can always like join the Discord server more if you do guys want to talk with me. I'm always available every time I stream. Hello, how you doing? Well, since you guys here, I think I need to talk about a bit of the so-called Fallen City I've been talking about. If you know about my channel, there's this the whole thing of the hashtag the stray cat from a fallen city. If you guys heard of it, if you're new here, that's basically the VTuber tag, or the fan tag, whatever tag. You guys can use it online. I'm just trying to grow my brand here, while trying to have decent grades on it, I guess. So. I originally do want to make a whole video on talking about like the situation that I face and the reason why I become a stray cat and come into the UK. But some other YouTuber literally made an extremely informative video already. So instead I would just be a local and just add the topics into it. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Let me just Yep. That'll be alright.
This is a $167,000 parking space. What's special about it? Honestly, not much. It's a single 8x16 foot slab of concrete in a frankly not very happening part of town.
Yeah,
Hey.
I don't know why. Even parking spots look weird. Draw me into a dragon princess. Make up sparkle pixie dust. That would be a bit hard, but right now this is not what I'm trying to do. It's a try about like Nekomi lore, some rare lore drop right now. Some VTuber lore drop right now. That's what we're trying to do right now. Dragon princess, that would be a bit hard to do.
That's why it's so affordable. Other, better slabs of concrete have sold for as much as 1.3 million. Welcome to the crazy world of Hong Kong real estate, where even modest 400 square foot studios...
Like, people think, like, London real estate prices are really, like, extreme. Oh, you just haven't seen shit. Yeah. Trust me, it's ridiculous.
And that's not even the craziest part. The funniest thing about that $167,000 parking space is that it's mere steps away from this. Miles and miles of untouched jungle. This is that garage, and this all around it is a whole lot of nothing.
Yep, it do be like that though.
There's no shortage of land. In fact, 75% of the city's entire surface is completely empty, occupied only by wild boars, snakes, and monkeys.
They're more, but
Developers
yeah.
would kill to sprinkle these mountains with 60-story high-rises as far as the eye can see. But they can't. The government owns every inch of land, and it only makes a measly 25% of it available to anyone but the monkeys. Needless to say, it does this out of love for money, not monkeys. The goal is to inflate prices.
But to be fair, having like a lot of green space can be great because people do want to go to those places whenever like there's a holiday or whatever. And it's a very good place for hiking, you know. So I mean like having some amount of green space is always good, but having like too much of it might be problematic sometimes. But I just think like every city pretty much needs a place where people always can go and enjoy the nature really.
By artificially reducing the supply of land. Each year, the government puts a tiny, I can't stress this enough, tiny sliver of the other 75% up for auction, which it sells to the highest bidder. Last year, for example, just 0.013 square miles were put on the market, or 0.003% of the total. That's in a city of over 7 million people. This was the only new land available.
I mean, it's dropping. Well, the birth rate has been like dropping for a while, so I don't think it'll be like 7 million soon. Maybe wait for 10 years. It's gotta be 6
for the entire year. Unsurprisingly, then, even this minuscule amount sold for nearly
it's a massive lower drop right now.
$100% of which went right back in the government's pocket. With the stroke of a pen, it effectively created $1 billion out of thin air. It turns out having a monopoly on land in the most land-constrained city on Earth is a pretty lucrative gig. So lucrative,
massive lower drop right now,
that it can get away with some of the lowest tax rates on the planet. Its highest income tax rate, reserved only for the absolute richest of the rich, is just 16%. Compared to
60% is just
Japan,
normal people
in America,
tax,
or 24 in
I think.
Singapore. And the average Hong Konger pays far, far less, about 2%. There's no sales tax, no capital gains, or even inheritance. Now, there are dozens of tax havens around the globe, from the Cayman Islands to Bermuda, but they're designed for the comfort of money, not people.
Maybe tourism as well, some of them.
Anywhere near the public services of Hong Kong.
Yeah, we got good public transport, no shit.
Japanese or European level public transit.
Nah, arguably we can beat the Japanese on that.
For Cayman Islands prices. That's a compelling offer, especially when your employer covers housing. Which is why thousands of successful mid-career bankers, lawyers, and accountants in London, New York, and Houston
weird poor choice.
Their bags and move their entire families thousands of miles away.
Yeah, we do have like some white people just living around.
So much, in fact, that they never go back.
I think some of them already tried to go back, so
quality of life for a higher
there's
cost. So that's the Hong Kong economic model. Severely restrict the supply of land, then sell it for extortionate prices, then use that revenue to support a world-class city despite dirt-cheap taxes. But there's still one missing ingredient. For this to work, someone has to keep buying all these million-dollar parking spots.
Yeah, a lot of them, like, some people did talk about this, is that some people did suggest to restrict buying property to mainly for the ones who are local, but of course it never came true.
Who are quite unfairly priced out of their own housing market, and it can't be expats. There simply aren't enough of them. Luckily, it has an almost bottomless source of demand right next door called China. When Beijing finally loosened its grip on the economy in the 1980s, it instantly created an enormous amount of wealth.
It's
right
a weird
on
time,
Hong Kong's
really.
doorstep. Some 800 new Chinese billionaires and countless more millionaires were minted between 2000 and 2018 alone. But this wealth was extremely anxious. And for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
As these entrepreneurs would soon learn, the Chinese government would now let you get rich, but there was no guarantee it would let you stay
Like, it's just facts,
rich.
really, a lot of stuff.
Much has changed in China over the past 40-odd years, to say the least. But this much, decidedly, has not. Your company can employ hundreds of thousands of people. It doesn't matter. In 2021, the $100 billion private tutoring industry was wiped off the earth with a stroke of a pen.
I mean, it can be for good for worse, but when I learn about this, obviously everyone wants to change things for the better. However, when you're like the government and you change things for too fast, people start getting unsure of stuff, especially now, and like people want to pull like investments or whatever. That's why, for me, I realized like people always say if you want to get a rich country, you need like a proper government, a proper like a legal system, a proper whatever, you know. But I think like actually the most important part for a country to be rich is just plain old stability, really. Even you have all these laws and systems, if your country is in a massive war, you can't do shit, you know. So this is why sometimes people who are like into those money stuff still like doesn't they aren't actually really that big fans of like democracy and freedom and stuff actually. Which is kind of sad.
It doesn't matter. Jack Ma, formerly China's richest man, was disappeared for saying vaguely disparaging things about the government.
It's always about stability.
You can even keep your head down and be a good, loyal, low-level bureaucrat. But it doesn't matter. Public employees have been ordered to return their end-of-year bonuses during economic downturns.
Personally, I don't know how, but
as long
they kind of
as
have
your
to.
money stays within its borders, it can always be taken back.
I think there was this one joke of like Stalin or something. They were like saw a homeless person and the homeless person was asking for change, but they don't have change because all their luxury goods or pretty much came from the powers they wield and not from the money they held.
So
they literally just don't carry cash at all.
Supermarket or property mogul do you run, and where do you go? Somewhere safe, somewhere with a rule of law, somewhere with free and independent.
There are a lot of asterisks, but he's gotta talk about more.
Well, Hong Kong had all of that. And it had incredibly low taxes. And it had an incredibly strong real estate market. And it was just
more like overinflated.
Away. And there was a good chance the person selling you that $1 million parking space even spoke the same language. It was a match made in heaven. Chinese elites got a safe place to stash their cash outside the mainland. And Hong Kong got insanely rich off land sales. Now, the key to all this
is why dealing with like rich people is really hard because yeah, of course it's nice to be like everyone's equal, you know, a socialist part, but the problem is no one got the bread.
The only reason it worked
everyone got equal piece of bread. Problem, no one got bread.
Political limbo. There are countless free democracies around the world.
I mean, like, rich people are quite annoying to handle sometimes. Because they bring a lot of resources to your economy, but at the same time, you know, there's a lot of reasons for them to leave. And if they can leave, they can just leave, you know.
Free autocracies. The two.
That's why I sometimes find it weird that, like, places like a lot of places in Europe, even though they are tax heavily on people, they still manage to have their rich people in there.
Freedom and democracy so often go hand in hand that.
But to be fair, someone did the research saying that like being rich does increase happiness, but another way to however it's nice to be rich while the people around you are also somewhat well off, you know.
Feels strange to even say this. But
that's maybe the why people live in places like the Netherlands, but yeah, we
was stuck somewhere in between.
It's
it had freedom without democracy.
My dad once said like our place used to be the freest place on earth, so
its government has never been directly accountable.
We can't do shit.
During British rule, London appointed a governor.
Governor.
Then, after the 1997 handover, Beijing effectively began appointing a chief executive. This was a necessary ingredient to its economic model because if it were a democracy, voters would, quite sensibly, pressure their representatives to solve the housing crisis. And if they did, if land became plentiful, the whole system would collapse.
But think of the animals and like the green spaces though.
Yet, despite its lack of democracy, Hong Kong was relatively...
You can't really have...
money,
like,
ideas, and
when I came to the UK, of course, there are a lot of big parks, but you can't have, like, mountains to hike.
Moved in and out of the territory nearly unimpeded. When dissidents were driven out of the mainland, they often fled to Hong Kong, where they could speak their minds. There was no great firewall.
Yep.
Professors had...
That's why I got YouTube.
Freedom. There were no capital controls.
No need a VPN for all those
its courts to be fair and independent to the
research.
tune of billions of dollars. This was necessary because if it wasn't free, investors would simply move their money elsewhere.
Yep.
The whole point of getting your money out of the mainland was to escape the party's control. And this truly one-of-a-kind combination, freedom without democracy, produced a truly one-of-a-kind city. 99% of cities around the world follow the same basic pattern because 99% are influenced by the same economic forces.
The same equations, same shit.
Is more expensive than building out. The convenience of the former only outweighs the cost for some people and industries. They inevitably cluster together in one or two pockets of density.
Pretty much every city in the world is like that.
Core. The rest sprawl outward. Nature succumbs to the efficient use of land until the city is drained of all its color.
Yeah, urban sprawl, you know.
But not in Hong Kong.
But
the shortage of usable land leaves no room for
if you're really good, like
efficiency.
Like city planning and shit, you definitely like this place. If you're really into the city planning, urbanist type shit, you would definitely be into this place. I mean, no shit. I mean, we do have a city center because this is sort of like the Victoria Harbour. It's just that our city center has a massive bay in the middle.
Of the city is built up to its absolute limit. Every inch of land accounted for and utility maximized. Meanwhile, the other 3/4 that surround it remain frozen in time. Green, pristine, untouched nature. The effect this creates is breathtaking. You get the extreme density of Midtown Manhattan directly adjacent to the extreme serenity of the Hawaiian jungle.
Not really Hawaiian jungle, because it's not the tropics, but you know, you get something close. And well, it's not really a jungle. It's more like a hill with a lot of trees, honestly. Also, I just want to mention, there's a lot of cities, of course. I've seen cities who are literally situated right next to mountains, but never this close, you know, to the city center itself.
And you can peer down at the former.
It's our thing.
Hong Kong has more skyscrapers than New York, Chicago, Miami, and Houston combined.
Actually, you know, when I go to other places, even for really bustling cities like London, stuff like those, when I came here, and basically the first question I asked is, where the hell are all the tall buildings? That it's too tall.
Far more than any other city on Earth. And it has the beach.
We have a beach.
And it has mountains.
Yep.
And it has clean, affordable, timely public transit to move between them.
Yeah, the trams,
Earlier, I joked that developers would love to sprinkle the jungle with 60-story high-rises.
We already
That's
did.
Not a joke. It's really what Hong Kong looks like. This is not a 3D render. It's actual footage of an
I don't know who would go there, honestly.
It's a 20-minute hike away from this incredible vista. In what other city do you get this view from a public bus?
I remember this is sort of the bus you get to go to the beach. Something that looks like this, yeah. From the city center.
Is the term urban jungle made so literal? Nature and city colliding in such close proximity that wild boars invade train stations where white-collar professionals are commuting to work.
Well, I mean the cows are usually a bit more remote locations, like in the north, west. you know?
What other city lets you escape the cubicle on your lunch break with a view like this? Of course,
It does
this
take
is
an
not
hour
without
or
its
a half an hour to go
drawbacks.
there, but still.
At 300 square feet, this is
Yeah,
roughly the
that's...
average size apartment for
This is just
two
sad.
middle-class Hong Kongers.
This is why I'm so used to living in
This
small
is the
spaces.
laundry room, this is the kitchen, and this, in case you missed it, is the bedroom.
Also
Nothing
the
about
sofa.
this is fair or compassionate. And in no real democracy would voters tolerate being squeezed into coffin-sized apartments while wild monkeys roamed freely across the remaining 75% of all land.
This is why people don't have kids anymore,
All of
man.
this is to say, there's no other place quite like it because there's no political system quite like it. And there's a reason. It's fragile. The people, for example, can exercise their freedoms to demand democracy. And that's exactly what they did. For a brief moment in 2019, there was hope that this paradox could be resolved by Hong Kong gaining democracy.
We tried.
This summer, 2 of its 7 million residents marched in the streets,
It was wild.
protesting a proposed bill that would allow extradition.
Sorry, I'm trying to eat something. I'm kind of hungry.
Soon, this evolved into a broader pro-democracy movement. Miraculously, it managed to sustain this momentum for nearly a year.
Why not COVID
Major
hit?
protests almost every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But then, while the world was distracted by the pandemic,
Wait. I think I know this more.
But then, while the world was distracted by the pandemic, Beijing reacted, resolving the paradox, but not in the protesters' favor. Instead, it exploited the absence of democracy to dismantle Hong Kong's freedom. It foisted upon the city, without a single vote, a national security law, which outlaws the vaguely defined crimes of secession, subversion, terrorism, and collusion. Now, on paper, that's it. Hong Kong still has its own separate passport, currency, and legal system. Even the courts are still widely considered fair and independent. In fact, 6 British and Australian judges sit on its court of final appeal. The national security law doesn't change any of this. What it does do, however, is create a second parallel court system. And this one is most certainly not fair or independent. Its judges are hand-selected by the government. Its trials can be held in secret, and its police don't need search warrants. So, what qualifies as endangering national security? So far, reading a newspaper in public, publishing children's books, and wearing the wrong color shirt. In short, whatever the government decides. Which means any person, any company, any property or bank account in the territory could be placed under Beijing's control. With neither freedom nor democracy, Hong Kong begins to look more and more like mainland China. And the more it looks like China, the less advantage it has over China. Why should you, a Chinese supermarket or property mogul, take your money to Hong Kong if it isn't any safer?
It's...
You could just as easily
this is why people like start moving to Singapore or something.
In Singapore, London, or Vancouver instead. Now, that alone would be bad enough. But it gets worse. Hong Kong is also caught in the middle of the US-China trade war. Its currency is pegged to the US dollar, meaning it's affected by high US interest rates. And it finds itself more dependent than ever on the Chinese economy at the exact moment its growth is slowing. Meanwhile,
yeah, a lot of people start like doing like shopping and whatever in China now, which is kind of sad in my opinion.
The city's best and brightest, its future workforce, is fleeing.
Okay, to be fair, I'm kind of part of the problem.
Thousands of highly educated, high-earning, often English-speaking families have escaped China's grip by moving to the UK, Canada, or Australia. For all these reasons, demand for property has plummeted. One $77 million mansion, for example, recently sold at a 60% discount. And less demand, of course, means less revenue. Last year's land sales were the lowest since the Great Recession. a tiny fraction of the $20 billion it collected just a few years ago. In fact, 2 of the 5 auctions had to be cancelled after no one offered more than the minimum bid. Land used to pay for a third of the city's budget. Today, it barely makes a dent. The city has been running a deficit for all but one of the past 5 years.
Yep,
Which
it's gonna
means
be like that.
sooner or later, it will either have to drastically reduce its spending or drastically raise its tax rate. Either it will lose its world-class public transit, healthcare, and universities, or it will lose its tax advantage. One way or another, Hong Kong will slowly lose the very things that make it special. After Beijing imposed the national security law, its allies were quick to highlight similar laws around the world.
Yes.
Hong Kong, they said, was just becoming more like the rest of the world.
Hmm.
In a way, they were right. That, after all, is what those of us who love Hong Kong fear the most. In 2021, the Hong Kong government replaced public school curriculum that taught critical thinking and problem-solving skills with a new course emphasizing patriotic rote memorization.
Yeah. I It happened.
And frankly,
Yep.
I can think of
I can
no
confirm.
better endorsement of the former. The exact skills taught by today's sponsor.
Okay, whatever. All right. Well, that's why I sort of became here, I guess. It's kind of sad though. But I do highly recommend, this videos. That's why I sort of trying to talk about it right now. Yeah, it's like that. Anywho. No, I'll just go for the Cat Girls BGM. But what can you know? We still got time for draw stuff, I guess. That's why it sucks. That's why. The hand would depend on how I draw the next character, I guess. Something like that. Yep. Really, I don't think there's not much I can say since no one's really watching me right now. But I think that's good enough for right now. I don't expect much after all. Why is my leg flickering all of a sudden? Huh. Weird. I'll probably just shut up and just talk. I mean, just draw. Yeah, the eyes look a bit weird from the occasion. This occasion. Just need to do a little bit trimming. It looks a bit too lewd. I want a more. Slightly drunk with a beer type shit. I think there's this one guy got just some year or something. Well, I don't think it's the eyes. This time is the eyes. What do they do here? This one looks alright. Nah, that would be too dramatic. The tongue. I need a tongue. Damn, that's that. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. it gets somewhere. Yep. I mean, the nose needs a bit of work, I think. Let me see again. Yeah, it needs a bit of work, but it's gonna be easy. Easy work. I mean. But still, it's kind of hard to tell without the hair, so I think it's best if I like edit first. Alright, I think it's fine if I leave. See you guys. There's no one there. So yeah.